I'm going to hit some of these mega chats real quick if you'll hold on for a second. Driver shaft, $2. I have no idea what this means, so I hope this doesn't make you crawl into a fetal position and cry. But ask Maddox about Tito and his conviction, please. What does that even mean? Do I need to ask that?
I mean, right now there's this this hate mob that is obsessed with me, that is following me around everywhere because they're losers and don't have anything better to do.
Yeah, I hate you. I hate you. How do I get in this hate mob, Maddox?
Oh, all you have to do is be a total fucking idiot.
Well, that qualifies me already.
So I don't know. I just, like, last week I got like a tweet or something where someone's saying, "Hey, Maddox, this person who regularly calls into your show is a convicted pedophile." Well, this is coming also from people who believe countless falsehoods about me. So I look at this thing and like, okay, I don't know. Is this true? Is it not? I don't fucking know, to be honest. Right. But out of an abundance of caution, yeah, I'm not going to play voicemails from this person they're alleging is a pedophile. So
probably a good idea. Probably a good idea.
I mean, there you go. Okay, great. And yeah, there's
by the way, I actually know of an alleged pedophile who is like emailing me all the time and buddying up with me.
Yeah, I've gotten voicemails from people claiming to be pedophiles, and like one in particular is a guy who's trying to normalize pedophilia and saying that oh, it's just like this new sexual identification or whatever. And it's like, guy, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk about that. That's not something I agree with or believe. So I'm not going to put those on there. So if there's something I know, and if somebody's done something, clearly I'm not going to.
Yeah, and I did. I called him out. I go, dude, you're a pedophile, man. Easy.
But they're also calling James Gunn a pedophile. So like, you got to take this shit with a grain of salt. Is it true? How much of it is it true?
I don't know.
I don't know. Out of an abundance of caution, yeah, I'll avoid it. But these are also coming from shitheads and liars. So
sure. Okay. Thomas Ramiro Macaroni de Agradulce the second, Marchetti the third, $5. I can't even read his name, man. Maddox went after a guy named Asterios Kokonos, made him lose his job. Are you for going after people's jobs or being made fun of on the internet?
Yeah, well, none of that is true. It's very misleading the way that it's phrased, and that's because, and I'm not really going to talk about this, but it's something that I have not talked about. So the narrative that's out there is completely theirs and completely bullshit. It's very misleading, and it sounds funny, right? It sounds funny, like, oh,
I think it sounds pretty funny, other than there's like a real guy behind it,
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot that's missing from this narrative.
Here's M Rocky for $2. Patreon.com/
Yeah, this is a plug for this guy who's been harassing me. Like
Asterios. So he's paying $2. We might be able to turn it around. Here's Kaya Orson. This is for 10 pounds. I like
this. Is another guy who's been stalking me for years. This guy's been stalking me.
Love you, Doug. Ask Maddox about his lawsuit. You know what? I just think I read all about the lawsuit. It is a giant 3-year soap opera I tried getting caught up on, because I have Dick Masterson coming on my show on Monday, and I will treat him like a gentleman the same way that I treat Maddox. And I'm not getting involved with his fight, but if these guys want to say whatever they're free to say whatever they want to say on my show. I want people to be comfortable in their own skin. Drummer 828, all caps, cuck.
Yeah.
Here's
that's the extent of their creativity and their their insults. Like, oh,
okay, that's all.
We got it.
Let me tell you something.
They're trying to, like, they come on and they think they're being like clever by doing these like little drive-by comments. It's like, guys, you realize that you're stalkers, right? Like, and what you're doing is spam. This is spam, and you're stalkers. Like, I'll talk about this shit one day, maybe not. I don't know. I'll do it at my leisure.
I also don't believe in insulting guests. I think it's being a bad host. So
that's what these people do. They stalk, they harass, they slander, they intimidate, they dox. They're terrible people. And
how do you deal with when culture believes this giant thing, and you still have your audience over here of people that agree with you?
Right.
What's the mindset of getting through that?
Well, you got to look at who these people are and realize that you shouldn't care about the opinions of idiots. If I remember one time, like this is my policy when I'm walking down the street and I see someone who's clearly schizophrenic.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they're saying the N word. You know. What
yeah,
I
they're saying the
mean?
N word. They're calling me names. They're like, you know, they're attacking me. They're insulting me. They're yelling and screaming. Well, I have a one of two choices to make. I can engage with that crazy person and then go nowhere with it because it'll just be a yelling match. And guess what? Then it's two crazy people yelling at each other.
I know you're sitting there
Or,
talking to a guy going like, dude, don't use the N word. And he's like, but
yeah, yeah. Or I can just like walk on and live my life and avoid wasting my time with people who aren't worth the energy. Like I could come out there, like I genuinely believe that people who have an opinion on somebody they've never met based on facts that they don't have are idiots.
Right.
So if I spend my valuable time talking to and trying to persuade idiots, what does that make me?
What does that make me? What does that make me?
So I grew up in Utah, very conservative country.
Mormon land, my Mormon people.
Yeah, yeah. And now I'm in a liberal city. So I have very liberal
where are you
friends.
at? Without doxing you, where are you at?
Oh, I'm in Los Angeles. Oh, believe me, I've been doxxed.
Yeah,
but
I have no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. These same creeps who are stalking me, like they do nothing. They're such losers. They have nothing going on in their lives. They're such losers.
Okay, here's a channel for $2. At least they don't sue their friends, Maddox.
Yeah, well, I didn't either.
Okay. Here's another oh man, these people are, I got so many. Dude, you're like the comment king. Here's Super Ostrich, $2. Who is Heather S? Do you know what I don't know who Heather is.
Yeah, they're all referring to shit from the lawsuit that they have taken out of context, misconstrued. And it doesn't matter what I say to these people. It doesn't matter if I explain. Right. First of all, I don't want to explain myself to any of these people because the worst thing would be for them to come back to my side. I don't want them. These are horrible people. These are people who dox. These are people who stalk. They're racist. And ironically, a lot of them actual pedophiles. These are people who
don't criticize too many people who are giving me $2 with here's Top Autist. At least they're self-aware they're autistic for $2. Lol, he can't make eye contact with the camera. Nicotine for $2. Lying and implying.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a couple of super chats here. This is from Top Autist again, $5. Funny how he calls us pedophiles when his favorite caller is one.
Yeah.
So wait. Maddox, am I not your favorite caller?
You are my favorite caller, Doug. What are they accusing you of?
Damn, I do not approve. Super Ostrich, $5. Maddox claimed to be a woman named Heather S. when he called Astrios's employer to try and get him fired.
Okay, that's not true. And like I never called anyone. And also,
wait, did you claim to be a woman?
Well, so this is all
you were drunk. You're allowed to say that.
Well, hold on. This is all. Remember earlier when you were saying that like the mob goes around and they think that everybody knows what they're talking about and they just like start talking about things out of context. That's exactly what this is. And for me to even get into what happened or what they're alleging, and it's first of all completely misleading the way they're framing this thing. And nothing I say is going to change anything because these are not rational people. They already have a belief.
Sure.
And for them to admit that they were wrong would be kind of like admitting that your religion is wrong. But these people in particular have believed something that is false, that it's not going to serve me any good to try to dissuade them or try to show them evidence or anything like that, because they've already come to a conclusion, not only a false conclusion, but without even so much as doing the due diligence or giving me the benefit of doubt that maybe that, you know, people who have a grudge against you aren't the best source of bad information about you.
But how many Proud Boys, how many Gavin McInnes guys are out there in mainstream politics?
Well, you tell me. You're going to talk to one tomorrow.
I'll ask him.
That's not a joke.
I'll ask him.
No, I mean, yeah, if you want to hear some lies, but
hold on, let me get to some chats real quick. Okay, buddy. Jacob M for £5. Why are the top YouTube videos for Maddox about why he's a failure? And by the way, to my YouTube friends, would that we could all have such failure.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're asking. So these are people who create a bunch of bullshit videos about me, spam them everywhere, and then they're like, "Oh, why is it at the top?" Well, I don't know, dipshit. Sure. Why'd you spam it?
Sure. I don't know. By the way, I'm such a boomer. I can't figure out even how people who are paying me through mega chats even work, super chats even work. Here's Rickietta Law for $5. Maddox, buddy, will you come on my show and talk about your experience with Landau? The answer why he thought he could bring ethics charges against me. So this is a person who has
this guy is a stalker. It's insane. I don't know this guy. He follows me around everywhere. By the way, here's what I do know about this guy. He's a blackface lawyer. He paints himself in blackface. So yeah, I don't want to talk to you, dipshit. I don't want anything to do with you. Like, fuck off. He's such a hypocrite and a lie. This guy, by the way, Doug, like he's like, he's told he's told some people's like, leave Maddox alone, don't bother him. And here he is bothering me. This guy's a stalker. Dude, fuck off. I don't know what your beef is with whatever, but it has nothing to do with me. Fuck right off.
Wait, so Maddox, is that a no?
That's a maybe. That's a hard maybe.
Here's top autist for $5.
Yeah, same stalkers.
Hates false dichotomies / calls anyone wanting an answer from him a racist.
That's not true. Did I say that?
You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. Let me go. Wait, this guy didn't pay anything. This is Rob Keno, all caps. Maddox lost. I've never seen more. Here's a bunch of cock. Yeah. Here's Taft Jaff, who already paid earlier, says, please read the super chat. So this is iCamp 1977 for $10. How does it feel knowing Dick has made over $500,000 in Patreon money since your attempted character assassination and is still porking? Oh, come on, guys. So this is the caliber of people who want to hold me accountable. Like this guy, like, by the way, guys, just so you know, like, even if you're paying money, I just don't believe in I don't believe in disrespecting a man and disrespecting a guest. That goes the same for when Dick is on my show. I just don't, you know what I mean? It's not okay. We're all people. Go ahead.
Let me tell you something, Doug. Like, some of these, like, there's this podcast I did like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. That, was like a moderate success at some point. It charted on iTunes comedy. What's that?
You slaughtered it.
No, I mean, it did okay for like, I think at most it was on there for like a couple of weeks, like maybe a month or so. And then near the end, the podcast was failing. It died and it ended. And there's this like loyal fan base of dipshit stalkers who go around and repeat memes from this old podcast that ended 4 years ago. Like anyone fucking knows or cares what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It is just the dumbest, most boring, idiotic fan base of losers who haven't moved on. And they accuse me of like having not moved on from my ex or all this like false bullshit. Guys, you can't even move on from a podcast that ended 4 years ago. It's time to fuck off and move on. Like
have you changed in 4 years?
Have I? Of course.
Okay. Here's Inseparable, the band, for $5. Doug, do you think using the state to silence dissenting thoughts through lawsuits is more communist or fascist? Anything that forces someone to do anything is more fascist than communist, is my belief. I've got a 50-pound one from Kaya Orsan.
Right. So the guy's been stalking me for about 10 years now. Yeah.
Doug, be a man and read this. See,
your manhood's on the line if you don't read this.
I already don't want to read it. No one tells me to do anything, guys. That's part of, I hope you'll recognize that as a real form of manualism. However, I'm going to read this out of ignorance of the culture of super chats. Read this. Maddox talks about us not having evidence. How come he lost the lawsuit? How come he admitted, all caps, under oath, to mailing people's employers while, all caps, pretending to be a woman to get them fired? You know what, brother?
Okay, first of all, that's not true.
Right. But this is to me. Hold on, Takaya. I am not, I have done some tangential research in Maddox and this whole lawsuit thing. I've kind of seen what's been out there by people, mostly against Maddox. I'm telling all of you.
All against me, because I haven't talked about it.
Yeah, largely I haven't seen any defense of Maddox. No. I only know that Maddox is a very old pal of mine who was good to me when there was no reason to be good to me, and not many other people were good to me. And I've also reached out to Dick, and he was also an Earthworm Jim fan, and I did a portrait for him. And I honor all people because they're, regardless of their fight in this thing, they're made in the image of God, number one. And I just don't believe in destroying people and going after people. I just don't think it's right. I don't care who you are. I just think I want to give these guys a good time. It's like we're sitting here having cigars and a beer, and you guys are dragging me into a fight and a lawsuit. I'll read your statements because that is part of the public narrative. But I just want you guys to know that there's a lot of projecting on this that I just, I have no obligation to jump into. You know what I mean?
This is again the mob that's going after people.
Yeah.
They assume everybody is up to date and knows exactly what they're talking about.
I have no idea.
This Kaya guy has been stalking me for fucking at least 7 or 8 years. He's been sending me emails. He responded to, like, I decided to engage with him like one time on Facebook, and he accused me of something false. So I said, okay, here's the evidence. I proved him wrong. And did he apologize? No. Did he acquiesce? No. Did he come around and say, hey, buddy, sorry, I misunderstood you. Sorry, it turns out that there is, this thing that I believed about you was false. No, here he is stalking years later. And again, pushing this misleading narrative. Like, I could get into it and talk about this stuff, but this is what they do. They harass and they hijack and they just follow people around. It's just pathetic. They're the biggest losers. Like, get a fucking life. Like, move on with your life.
Let me get another one. By the way, almost every single paid super chat has been to go after Maddox. So here's another one. Casper Van Heerden, £5. And these are from other countries. £5.
I think you can choose the currency to pay in.
Serious question. What does Maddox think his lawsuit would have meant for freedom of expression in the US had he won?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, again, it's misleading. They don't know, they don't know what they're talking about. But
I hope you'll. I'm sorry for laughing, but I just find culture really funny.
These guys are taking a misleading and false narrative about what's happened and what's been going on, with not so much as a single counter narrative or fact and the other opinion.
Have you ever engaged anyone, Maddox, and changed their mind? One of these, someone who's against you, who's coming for you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I've changed a couple on me too, so I'm just saying.
I can, but again, you see, they're relentless and stupid. So if I sit down and talk with one of them, it's a waste of time because they're not going to listen. They don't want the facts. They don't. I like that guy who emailed me that one time. He was like, yeah, why don't you, dispel some of these rumors and stuff? I'm like, okay, here you go. Here's the evidence.
Yeah.
Do you want to see it? He said, no, I want to believe. I'm like, okay, then go believe. Go believe.
Yeah.
It's not. And by the way, what do I have to gain? At best,
I mean,
I get some horrible people back in my fan base. People
yeah.
who dox, people who stalk, people who are racist. They send racist death and rape threats. No thanks. What do I have to gain?
Where do you draw that threshold line on your audience? How much purity do you demand from your audience?
What do you mean by purity?
Purity, like agreement.
Oh, none. If somebody criticizes something I have to say, if they criticize my philosophy, my beliefs, that's interesting to me. Then they're telling me a reason they disagree with me. If someone comes by and just calls me stupid or a name or something and doesn't really tell me why they disagree with me, doesn't tell me what issue they have with my personal beliefs, then that's something that that's something I can dismiss if someone's just making a drive-by comment. Like some of these people who are just obsessed, they're not here to have a discussion. They're not here to talk to me. They're not here to listen.
I want to go back to Kaya Orson, who said 50 pounds. That first sentence, Doug, be a man and read this.
Yeah.
Brother, that goes against me in a pretty deep way. Be a man and read this. I almost feel like being a man and not reading. I want to insult you because you paid 50 pounds, and I appreciate that, friend. But
don't count on it, Doug, because these guys are a
did
lot
you
of
understand in that whole opening statement, that is that's a contradiction. You know what I mean? It's incoherent. That you can't tell someone, be a man and do what I say, and then if I do it, I'm half conceding, you know what I mean, to your principle. I don't, you know what I mean, guy? Kaya, I want you in the conversation, but I want to tell you, like, just that first sentence just rubs against me the wrong way. I have a hard time with that. You know what I mean?
Be a man, Doug. Do what I tell you to do, like a man would.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, I'll take my friends all day. Close friends call me a woman and vagina monologue all day. But if you're a stranger saying be a man and do X or Y, that goes against my values.
Yeah. Be a man, Doug. Make sure to do what I tell you to do.
Yeah. Whatever you say, sir, because that's what men do, is exactly what everyone else tells them to do. Here's Vistas for, and I don't want to, berate you either. You paid your say, and I'll read it. But
by the way, Doug, don't count on any of this money coming through, because they're snakes. They'll do chargebacks on these. So
yeah. Take your money back too, you guys. I'm okay with that. I walk the line. Vistas, $10. There's no narrative to be spun when you sue someone with the intent to silence their freedom of speech.
Yeah, that's okay. So already, like, they're missing. That's like, are you guys out of your fucking minds? Like, I'm somebody who, Doug, you know this about me.
Yeah, I know you. Yeah.
For 20 years, 21 years now, I have not had advertisements on my website.
That's right.
To avoid the specter of self-censorship.
That's right.
So suddenly, one day I wake up and I realize, you know what? I want to silence the speech of other people. Yeah. That's why I'm going to sue someone, right? Yeah. Does that make sense, you fucking idiots? Does that really make sense to you? Yeah. Or does that sound like the narrative of a scorned ex, you morons?
Here's Vistas for $5. Quote unquote, be a man is because people have taken Superchat money without reading them in the past.
Yeah, no one owes you anything.
Not offend Maddox's delicate sensibilities.
Yeah, real delicate sensibilities. Like people who come to my wall actively calling me bald, big nose. They call me a Jew. They call me an Arab. They call me the F word and
wait a minute,
the N word.
But big nose is kind of right.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying they're wrong.
I'm just saying, when people call me names, I'm saying they make fun of me too. Yeah. My brother. Here's Cameron Clark for $5. Doug,
this guy's a stalker. I don't like Doug. I don't want to hear anything this guy has to say.
Okay,
Cameron,
I'll pre-read it.
Yeah. This guy's a stalker, man. He's just is an unrelenting, unmitigated loser. Get a life, dude.
Yeah. Do you guys realize my conundrum? It's like I can be respectful to my guest, or I can read what you tell me to read for $5.
Yeah, it's a hate mob. This is what they do, man. They don't have a life. They don't, and you know why they're doing this, Doug? Is
Yeah.
because they don't have entertainment. They
Yeah.
think that this is like their form of entertainment. Just like, oh man, hey, what did you do? Like, can you imagine if you went out on a date?
But Maddox, I don't even understand these. Like they imply that I already know. So this is going after you because you know.
Right. Right.
I won't do that. Okay, let me go to a $10 one. Joff F, $10. Come on, guys. I can't do that. You know? All right. Thanks for the $10 donation, John F. Thanks for the $10 backing. But I'm just, guys, come on.
Right, Doug. So if somebody
just so you know, I painted a portrait of my wife, right? And family's off limits to me. And,
oh yeah, not to these people. They make fun of my sister who killed herself. They make fun of they harass. By the way, Doug, you were opposed to people going after people's livelihoods,
absolutely,
right? I mean,
absolutely.
That's a shitty thing. That's a real shitty thing to do, is to go after someone's livelihood, isn't it?
I agree. You don't do that.
Yeah, and so that's what these people did to me. And then, in response to 18 months of harassment, you know, turns out that if I play by their rules, they cry victim. All right, so it's okay for you guys to go after people's livelihoods, but when we play by your rules of engagement, when people turn around and say, okay, this is what you guys are okay with, well, let's play by your rules. Now you have a problem with it. It's very interesting.
So Maddox, here's my principle behind not going after someone's livelihood.
Yeah.
Is this is what I believe. It applies to everyone else and it applies to me, right? Because a standard must apply to the other person as much as it applies to yourself.
Right.
It's that I always smell a rat when someone says, because when I came out against gay marriage, they went after all my friends who were okay with gay marriage, including some of my publishers like Image, and said, if you're really pro-gay marriage, then explain yourself for having worked with Doug. See what I mean? Okay. See what they were demanding there?
Yeah.
So I oppose that idea because this goes, I'll even quote Islam. In Islam, there can be no compulsion, they claim. It is basically a belief that the truth is so powerful that you shouldn't have to extort someone's belief in it for it to be true, right? If I have to come after you for your job, if I have to punish you for making a gay cake, then I'm really showing the weakness of my position because I don't think it's actually true. I actually have to try to extort your work out of you first.
It's manipulation, right?
It's manipulation.
It is
and the truth,
right.
The truth is no manipulation. So in a way, so I kind of hold to a principle of you don't go after people's jobs in the name of the truth, because the truth ought to be strong enough.
Or how about not going after someone's job because you're a scorned ex and you don't do that. You don't go after someone's job. You don't go after their livelihood because you disagree with them or you just don't like them. Because that's what really escalates this war, is when you start going after people's livelihoods.
So listen, I can't go after your job. I don't want you going after mine. I can't go after Dick's job either. And I don't want him going after mine, because in the end, I believe the truth will work itself out regardless of what everyone's trying to do.
Well, look, man,
it is Marxist materialism to say that finances are everything. So let's go after everyone's finances.
Right. That's what they do because they can't win. They can't produce content that speaks for itself. I mean, at the end of the day, Doug, the reason these people are so obsessed with me, they call me irrelevant, and yet the entire chat has been about me. Guess what that makes me, guys? Makes me relevant.
Yeah.
When you're talking about me, when you're talking about someone, that's the definition of relevance. So if you guys think I'm irrelevant, stop talking about me.
Yeah. Well, and I might, by the way, I might tell the truth and I might become relevant. But what's that say about society when the truth has become irrelevant?
Yeah.
Here's Kiwi Farms for $10. I appreciate your handling of this, Doug.
I'm not going to entertain these guys.
Okay, but listen, I appreciate your handling of this, Doug. Maddox's lawsuit targeted a man's company for no reason other than to get him fired, which worked. Same with Patreon and Dick. I'm not making a comment on that. I'm just reading this.
I'll say this: it's false. That's a false assertion. Okay. Like when you stop believing in the reason for things, right? If you dismiss the other person as just crazy, you've lost the narrative. You're no longer rational. You're not.
But listen, Maddox.
Yeah.
These are people paying me $10. They're all lined up. They're all lined up to say these things, all one direction.
Right. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. It's the same people. Like I know their names.
Do you know Cameron Clark for $10?
Yeah, that guy has been stalking me for over 2 years now. I have in my inbox, like that guy is so obsessed with me. He paid like $1 on Patreon just so he can spam my, or no, not him, is another one. But he went through my YouTube channel and spammed every single one of my comments. He spammed the same thing, which by the way, guy, none of them got seen because YouTube's spam algorithm detects that for what it is. Spam.
What does that make me though? What does that make me?
What do you mean?
What does that make me if I would read a guy's comment for $10 to say something against Maddox? So he pays $10 for me to read this.
I mean, that's up to you, Doug. My principle is,
I mean, they line up $10.
Yeah, of course, because they're going to do chargebacks. That's what these dishonest people do. Like they'll do chargebacks.
And I'll talk about that if they do. Here's another 10 because I'm not here for $10. I don't.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I want to honor this brand new culture of super chats to me, which I've never even heard of, and now unprecedented number of people. Apostolos Constantino, 10 pounds. Doug, ignore offensive super chats. Respect is above money. Don't betray your values just because they pay you to. By the way, Earthworm Jim is the reason I bought a SNES.
Very cool. Yeah, I would agree with that message. Like, you know, I could make money slandering people. I could make money harassing people. It's not hard. It's really easy to create the formula of demonizing someone, martyring yourself, acting like a victim, and then opening up your coffers and saying, "Oh, please give me money. I've been victimized." It's not a brilliant business model.
I just want to know, could I make more money coming out against you or supporting you?
Probably coming out against me at this point. I mean, that's the only reason people do it at this point is because they can make money. It's spawned an entire cottage industry of losers who have no ability to make content on their own, so they have to use my name.
Number one, I do like to make money. Number two, I have a huge martyr complex where when everyone tells me to do something, I automatically do the opposite. Those are conflicting values I have.
Yeah.
I want to make money to feed my family, but as soon as someone tells me to do something, I do the exact opposite because I'm pissed. No one tells me what to do, Maddox.
Right.
And I mean, when a huge line of people tell me what I must think or say about you, gotta sleep with myself at night, man.
Yep. And by the way,
shit, there's $100 super chat.
All right.
Hold on. This is the $5 one. This is Sam Poseno. Maddox, you did this yourself.
Yeah.
You were your fans. We were your fans.
Yeah.
You know Sam Poseno? Is that a name that's familiar to you?
No, this doesn't sound familiar. But
talking about going after a livelihood.
Yeah.
Like filling a frivolous lawsuit.
Yeah. Okay, it's not, and again, it's false. This is like their false narrative.
Okay,
and by the way,
I read it. Hold on. That was $5 worth of outrage. Here's $100.
Okay, it's not $100, Doug. Just know that's Mexican pesos. So that's about $1.
Oh, dang it. Mexican. What's that going to convert to?
About $1. It's like 10 to 1 right now.
It's about $1. I like my Mexican people. I like what's $100 to them.
He's an American person who used the Mexican pesos to pay you. They can use yen. They can send like 50,000 yen, and it's like, you know, $10 or whatever. Like, that's what
Holy
they'll do.
moly! It looks like $100 though, Maddox.
Yeah, it's Mexican. It's like pesos. So.
Oh damn! Here's all caps, George.
Yeah, like these guys know me. Yes, go on.
The only one slandering, crying victim, claiming everyone is a stalker, harasser, racist, and bigot is you, all caps.
Yeah, yeah.
All caps. You are the one who went after people's jobs.
No,
this is infuriating, Doug.
No, he's lying. This person's a liar. So again, when I play by their rules,
you
right?
Tell me when you want these to stop, Maddox. I'm not going to insult a guest on this show with all this, this parade, this charade.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they do. They are actively stalking and harassing, and then they say, "Well, we're not doing anything. We're not slandering you." And yet, actively right now, there is a campaign to try to paint me as a pedophile because someone stalked one of my callers on my show and found out he may have been convicted for child porn or something. Yeah. So just because I played some guy's voicemail who I didn't even know if any of this has happened, I didn't know that. They're trying to guilt by association. Therefore, I somehow enable or
so hold
activate.
on, Maddox. Let's get out of this whole war thing a second, okay? Because I gotta clean up the show. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the bigger picture of a guy who made a living on the internet.
Yeah.
And now you've got a handful of people gunning for you, and you still have to make a living on off the internet, right? So do I.
Right.
I'm in the middle of a giant Bigfoot bill campaign. Everyone go down and fund. Oh my God, here comes more. They're just like pouring more money in.
They're all going to be charged back, man.
Well, hey guys, fund Bigfoot bill on my Indiegogo, and you can also cancel all of that money too. And follow me on YouTube. Follow my YouTube channel. But most of all, Maddox has a book for people out there who want quality entertainment. F Whales. That's how quality it is. It's called F Whales, guys. I've been a longtime fan of Maddox. I do nothing but treat this man with respect because he's a guy who, you know, we've been in the trenches and we're entertainers and we get it. But the internet it's not just fickle for you, Maddox, that these people come gunning for you, right? You have your core audience who stay with you. I have a core audience that stays with me. And there's been a huge amount of internet backlash against me. They come after me because I'm kind of a big target. You're a much bigger target, for so many more of them came after you.
Right.
How do you live in your own skin?
Well, we talked a little bit about this before, and what keeps me going is moral clarity. If I was wrong, or if I felt like I was wrong, I'm going to man up and apologize. I'm going to come out and I'm going to admit to the things that I've done wrong.
You ought to, by the way, when you do something wrong, apologize. Have you done something wrong that you need to apologize for?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I have. And it made zero difference with these people.
And if you, by the way, and if you've spoken your apology, you owe me nothing more, because once you put it out there, you don't have to apologize 20 times for 3 years. Once you've apologized and you've made it clear, we move on.
Yeah, well, that's not what's happened here, Doug. And I'll tell you, there's a friend of mine. His name is Mundane Matt. He's a content creator. Yeah. And he came out. Matt,
by the way, has done a piece on me by Ian Miles Chang, who hit me for going against trans people. He did a big thing on it, right? And then a year later, Ian Miles Chang is one of my close friends. He used to be an SJW, and he did a hit piece on me. And now he's one of my good buddies in Comicsgate. So I'm just saying, you never know who will end up being your friend. Even people who once gunned for you.
Yeah, I've chatted with him a few times. Ian, I don't know him very well, but I do know
he's a good guy.
He's very much in the conservative sphere right now. But
that's right.
So this Monday Matt guy, like, also a good guy. I've met this dude. I vouch for him.
And he's a solid guy. Channel get destroyed? Like, people went after him or something? He cried or something? Isn't that? I don't want to repeat.
I don't know, man. It's again, like, this is like another sphere of drama.
I know, it's like the Venn diagram that doesn't overlap with your drama. There's other drama, like a giant war elsewhere.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So essentially, like, I guess he flagged some videos or something that were like, but by people who may have been harassing him or something. I don't know. I don't follow it too closely, but he came out and apologized. And he came out and as soon as he apologized, he thought that would be the end of it. And it wasn't, Doug, because you know what happened after he apologized? People said it wasn't sincere enough. People said that the medium was wrong. People said it should have been longer. People said it should have been a video.
Cry harder, Mundane Matt. Cry harder and crawl. You didn't cry enough for Kim Jong-il.
They're not sincere people. These aren't people who are reasonable and rational. They're not people who are reachable. They're people who are projecting some insecurity and hatred that they have about themselves onto other people. And what keeps me going is moral clarity. If I was guilty of like half the shit people were accusing me of, I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bullshit. Like, I've been doing this, Doug, for 21 years, never had a problem with anyone. Right. I've worked on 3 books, a comic book, a calendar, TV shows, movies.
Right.
I've done it all. I've never had a problem with anyone ever. And now this guy, like these jilted ex is just running this like hate mob, and it's just, they want to believe the worst about you. Their critical thinking is turned off. They're not asking questions. Yeah. They're not saying, hey, is this true? They're just saying, yeah, it's true. And also, let's stalk him. Let's harass him. Let's go after his livelihood. Let's go after their sponsors. One of my sponsors, Doug, and this is the type of people who are giving you these super chats.
Right.
One of my sponsors recently.
And by the way, I'm reading all the super chats still. I'm not reading them all on the line because they're basically repetitive, but go ahead.
That's what they do. Yeah.
I'm reading them all, guys. I'm reading them.
Right. All. It's like Fight Club where the cult at the end just keeps repeating the same mantra. His name is Robert Paulson, because they are so brainwashed and so just turned off. Their critical thinking is turned off. They're not asking questions. So anyway, one of my sponsors posted on 9/11 just a picture saying, remember 9/11. It was very nice, like common type thing that someone posts on 9/11.
Sure.
Well, these stalkers, one of which this creepy dude Cameron, who has nothing better to do, started harassing him, and then these other people started harassing him, and this mob that you see, this hate mob that goes after people's jobs and livelihoods, started going after his colleagues and his contacts. Sure. And they started diminishing his product and destroying this guy's product. Why? Because he posted a 9/11 meme. Right. And he happens to work with somebody they disagree with. They're doing the exact same thing to me that they've done to you, Doug.
Right. But Maddox, isn't this the new reality? Yeah. Isn't this the new culture that we live in with the Wild West online? People can pay money to say what they want to say.
Of course.
And you still have a core audience.
Of course. Yeah.
And you have to build a new core audience or whatever, and one audience does whatever. I've said the wrong thing, and I swear flat out, if I mention the wrong thing on this show, people will leave the audience. And those people are not, I don't think, supposed to be in my audience.
Right. And this is like
and I hope people in my audience who are entertained by you will join your audience.
Oh, and that's
my audience who, because I've talked to you, will leave my audience.
Yeah. I mean,
to which I say, fuck them.
Yeah. Fuck them. I mean, to hold your fanship over me as like like a dangling carrot if I do what you want me to do, which by the way isn't manly. It's not manly to do what you want me to do. I do what I want.
Tell everyone what Maddox must say before you'll give him his money, and tell me what I must say before you'll give me my money.
Right? You know what? Don't give me your money. I don't want it. I don't need it. I want all the money that you were going to give to him. Give it to me. I am so promiscuous. I'll take money from anyone. Although if you're psychotic and you're going to dox me, go back to Maddox's audience, please. Nope. No, thanks. Don't want him. Don't need him. No, thanks.
No. Guys, we do real entertainment. We're entertainers deep down inside. We want to put on a show. And we don't care that you agree with us. But you know what? There are people who cross the line out there who are odd and who come after your phone number and your home address.
Yep.
And that just crosses a line. All right. That
You
crosses
you don't dox people. Those are the rules you break. You can't break on the internet. You don't dox people. You don't go after their livelihoods. And when you do, you got to be really, really fucking careful, because those are your rules.
Yeah.
Those are your rules of engagement, and people might do it back to you.
Well,
So,
those weren't, it was not my rules of engagement to go after people's families, and people came after my families. So that's just, to me, I just go, well, that's the price of being a public figure in the internet now, is that people will find your home address, they'll put it out there. They will try to go after your job, Maddox.
Yeah, it's because they're just like, they have no principles. They don't believe in this stuff. They don't believe in these values. And so when it happens to them, they cry victim. But when they do it to you, it's okay. Oh, it's fine. They justify it, they rationalize it. But guess what, guys? There is no justification. There's no rationalization. You are lowering the bar of discourse if this is what you guys are willing to do. Which, by the way, Doug, I'm not willing to do all the things they've done to me. It's not.
Yeah, you shouldn't, buddy. You should.
No. What is that? Because again, at the end of the day, like I said earlier in the show, if somebody is a rapist, you don't go rape them to get back at them, because what does that make you?
Someone suicide bombs you, you don't go suicide bomb them. So in the end, guys, I have to act the way that I believe is right to act, and Maddox must act the way he believes it's right to act. And you know, I will not lower myself to act against anyone just because they take a shot at whatever. That is my beef, by the way, with many people, even in my own party, who believe that revenge is okay if someone else did it first. I do not believe in revenge.
Well, also, I mean, I'm on board with that for the most part.
Right.
Because I think, again, like eye for an eye, it's like that old Gandhi quote, eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what my MO is to stop the mob and stop the harassment. So
but remember the Doug TenNapel rule number 1, you cannot change the internet.
Well, sure. I mean, I'm not trying to change the internet. I'm just trying to live my life. You know, I have a right to live my life, and you know, how I see fit, as long as I'm not bothering other people. When they come bothering me, when they come knocking on my door, when they start going after my livelihood, when they start doxing and attacking my friends, my family members, fuck off. Don't contact someone I'm dating, you fucking creeps. Dude, don't contact my family, you fucking creeps.
That's where culture's at today, guys. And I don't have the power to change it. Neither do you, Maddox. You can walk the line. You and I can walk the line. And because these people, I don't think I can convince a lot of them.
No, and I don't want to. You know, it's like trying to convince it's like trying to convince criminals to like you. Like, the best case scenario is I get a bunch of criminals to like me. The worst case scenario is I fail and I waste my time. Or maybe I have those maybe I have those in reverse. The best case scenario is I waste my time. Worst case scenario is I've convinced them.
Do you recognize Goat Man?
No.
Goat Man for $10 says, Doug, you're shooting yourself in the foot by telling your fans to F off. By the way, that is a threat to say that I'm shooting myself in the foot. So I already smell this.
Yeah.
You know what, guys? I'm not shooting myself in the foot. Here's Jaeger Mitchell, $10.
This guy's a stalker.
Doug, love your work.
This guy's not only a stalker, he's a thief.
But he's a stalker who loves my work.
Well, he's also a liar. He might be pirating your games and your stuff, because that's what he does. He's a thief.
Dude, he's putting up people's phone numbers.
Yep, that's what they do. They're cowards.
Dude. Yeah. Brother, look at me. I'm the happiest guy I know still. Happiest guy I know. You can't let other people decide what you're going to do. That's another rule. Sam Pacino for $5. Oh, man, yeah, I'm not going to read that. Come on, guys. Is there an original thinker in this audience? Is there an original thinker? Right?
No, Doug. His name is Robert Paulson.
Brother.
His name is Robert Paulson.
Brother. We're going to hang, bro. You're going to make a game. We're going to keep writing books. I hope people will check out your show.
Yeah,
But,
I'm at the end of the day, Doug, I like to focus on creating content.
Yeah. You got to put on a show, bro. That's what you're put here to do.
Yeah, I don't like to go after people. I don't want to make my life and my brand about another person, because what's that famous quote where they say that small minds talk about people, mediocre minds talk about events, and great minds talk about ideas. For the most part, I mean, I gotta say, to be honest, I'm a really great mind, and I like to talk about ideas. My targets these days are mostly, children and animals. The most vulnerable.
Yeah, like they can fight for themselves. Real brave.
I mean,
children and animals. Whales.
F whales. That's right.
Hey,
yeah.
Let me kind of pick your brain a little bit about this stuff, though, because we have to.
Before we do, I do have to use the restroom. Can I?
Go pee.
Can you
Go pee. I'll take over. Go, man.
Okay, one sec.
While my brother takes a generous pee, I've got so many super chats backed up that, and you know what? Most of them are threats. And you know what? Maddox told me they may come after you. And, if I can stand with another guy who's kind of going through the same thing, and you know what? This is kind of how I feel as a Republican too. To my fellow Democrats who get just crapped on all day by people who attack people for their opinions, in a way, I feel a kindred spirit with them too, because I just don't think that you go after people's jobs. So I'm reading all these. Here's a CLP. What monetary denomination is that? A CLP for 2,500? I don't know what it is. From Fan Power. Give me 10 minutes. No insults, no attacks, just facts and respect. I like that. Dude 2.0, Tommy Two Tone did the song, and then he gives your phone number. Come on, this is stupid. Shooting yourself in the foot is an expression, and then he gives your phone number again.
Yeah, that's what they do, and they try to say it's a fake phone number. Guys, it's a real phone number. Stop calling it.
Oh, dude, but it's okay. I've had my phone number doxed too. It's been thrown out there. Now I get like they put it on every spam site there is. Now I get like 80 calls from India a day.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are such fucking idiots, Doug. Like, they post this phone number and they're like, oh, it's from a song. Guys, when you add an area code to it, it turns into a real phone number. And the person who answers the phone is fucking tired of your shitty calls. Stop calling phone numbers people post on the internet.
But they're not going to call. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop, bro.
Even if you think it's a fake phone number, don't fucking call it, because it's not. It's not a fake phone number. It's a real phone number. Stop calling it.
Some innocent person's going to get that number. Okay.
They already have it, Doug. It's a real phone number.
Here's Good Mackie. Didn't pay a dime for this one. Is Doug TenNapel a homosexual?
Oh, Doug. Holding your feet to the fire, man.
I am not going to answer that. Just to keep it mysterious.
Yeah.
Alanik, Cuck, we're on that again. Come on. You got to produce better content than that at least.
I mean, at least come up with a creative or
funny. We were talking about God and all this good stuff, and now we're
they don't care. They're obsessed, man. They're obsessed.
I've never seen more caps lock in my life on my comments, guys.
Yeah, caps lock, cruise control for idiots.
Oh man. All right. Well, we should probably wrap it up. Let's talk about your video game. Can you talk anything about that? Because you're gonna
not yet. And okay, anything we discussed before, no, we can't even bring it up. I'm still working on all this stuff. It hasn't been announced, but I mean, we're
not gonna bring up what he's working on and what he's not going to announce, even though I've seen it and it's awesome.
It is something I've been working on for a while. I kind of announced it like a year ago, but Yeah, nothing else. Nothing else. It's
Okay,
still under
okay.
wraps. Yeah.
Well, I dig it, and I dig you. You want to
Thanks,
come
man.
back on the show again if I promise not to not to ever read cut crap again? Yeah, now that we've addressed that, guys, that is I'm not entertaining that. I don't want to get into this. I just think there's so much more interesting stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? Like Maddox, I want to learn about your family. I want to expand a little more on your religion and politics and philosophy. And most of all, I feel like we barely scratched the surface on work ethic, on building an online audience, stuff like that, that I really need to learn from. So we can talk more about it offline, but I'll definitely get you back on the show. Cool?
Cool, man. Sounds good.
You're my guy, man. You're my guy. And let me tell you something. You're a man in full to stand there with your head up high when our culture just swirls around us like a whirlpool. You know what I mean, brother?
Yep, absolutely. You can't worry about what idiots think of you.
That's right.
And if you engaged with them, you become an idiot appeaser. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that unloading of wisdom by Maddox has made this almost the greatest show in the universe. We'll take second best, maybe even third best. But I'd like to thank Maddox for being a man in full on this show, and I'll welcome back anytime, anywhere. We're going to talk a lot offline about video games and all kinds of great projects and things. And gang, y'all be good to each other out there. This has been the Doug Show. Oh.